Hello and welcome to another episode of Advanced WordPress Theme Development. In the previous video, we learned about what are posts, different post types, pages, menus, etc. So in this video, we're going to talk about template hierarchy. Many of you might already know about what template hierarchies are. However, in this video, we're going to get in-depth knowledge of what these are, how WordPress works behind the scenes in the core itself, and how does it actually find those templates. Okay, so before we jump onto that, let's understand what template hierarchies are first. So WordPress uses query strings to decide which template or set of templates should be used to display a page. For example, on a website you could have a home page and you may want to display the content differently compared to your blog page, right? So you can do that using the template hierarchy feature. And as we know, that query string is the information contained in the link after the initial question mark and can contain multiple parameters separated by ampersand. So WordPress searches down through the template hierarchy until it finds a matching template file. WordPress uses query string to look for template files with specific names in the current themes directory and uses the first matching template as specified by the hierarchy. If the WordPress cannot find the template file with the matching name, it will skip to the next file in the hierarchy. If no match is found, it will just use index.php. I know that's a lot of information, but let's get in action. Let me give you a demo of how that works. Okay, let's take a look. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to go to template hierarchy, which is this link, and then if you scroll down, you can see that there is an image that WordPress has given us. We already discussed about that we have different types of content on WordPress. We have the archive page, we have the blog post, we have the error 404 page, we have search result page, all of that stuff, right? So it kind of follows this path basically. So let's say we have a single page that we want to show, right? So it's going to follow this path. Okay, so it's going to start over here. So if it's a singular page, it's going to come over here and check which one out of the two it is. Is it a single post page or is it a static page? If it's a single post page, then it's going to come over here and again check what type is it. Is it an attachment post, custom post, blog post, which type of it is. So let's say it is a blog post. So if it's a blog post, it's going to come over here and check if the custom.php file is available. Okay, and then if it isn't, then it's going to look for the single-post.php. If there's a file that exists with this name, it's going to use that file to render the content of the blog post. If it isn't, then it's going to move on to single.php. If single.php exists, brilliant, it'll use that. If it isn't, then the fallback will be singular.php. And finally, if there's nothing, then it's going to use our index.php. So if you notice that for all of the type of content that we are going to display, the fallback eventually is index.php, which is why if you noticed inside of the theme, all we have is just index.php. But if you go to any type of page, any type of content page, it's still going to work because eventually we do have index.php. And that's one reason why to create a theme, the minimum file that is required is your index.php as well as your style.css. Okay, that's a minimum number of files. Okay, great. So since you know that this is the kind of hierarchy that WordPress follows, let's also go back to the core and see how that works behind the scenes. I'm sure you will be interested in that. So let's begin. So this is my WordPress core basically. You can see these are all the core files, and let's go to WP blog header. Okay, so you can see that loads the WordPress environment and template. So this is the file, is the beginning path that we're going to discuss. Okay, so it's going to come over here and it's going to load the theme template. So it's going to go to the template loader.php. So in PHP Storm I can do command B to reach to this, but if If you don't have that option in your editor, you can always go to WP includes and then just look for this file. It should be somewhere here itself. Template loader, this one right here. Okay. Now this is the template loader file, and let's see what's happening over here. You can see that loads the current template based on the visitor's URL, right? So that's the job of this particular file. This is a WordPress core file. Just come down over here where you'll find something interesting. So it says tag templates. So it checks which type of the content it's going to be. Is it search, is front page, is home, or is it taxonomy page, is it an archive page, it's singular page, is category page, and all of that stuff, right? And then whichever thing it matches, it's going to call that function. So have a look over here. Initially it sets template to false, and then it loops through this array, and this as tag will be this value, this value on the left hand side, and the template getter will be the function basically that is a WordPress function. So these are the WordPress functions that you see over here. And then it's going to call this function template getter, which means that so when it loops through, it's going to call function for each one of those. Okay, so for is embed is going to call get embed template, for is tags is going to call get taxonomy template. So let's take a look at the is front page. So is front page is generally can be set from the customizer, which we will discuss in the next video. But WordPress is going to come over here, and for each of these keys is going to run and call those functions. Okay, so let's say that it is looping through the loop and it reaches this place, is front page. So you can see that this function will be called because call user func is going to call that function. So let's go to the definition of is front page, and I'm going to go ahead and search that into my WordPress core. Let's say I'll hoping to find that in WP includes. There you go. So this is my function. This is where it's defined inside of template.php in WP includes. As you can see the path down at the bottom. And if you take a look, you can see that the template name is front-page.php. So which means that it's going to load this particular template, right? So you can see it says retrieve path for front page template in current path, current or parent template. Then let's take another one. So let's say it's a page. So this function will be called get page template. So let's take a look. Where is that function? So this is my function. So you can see that there are a lot of conditions that are checked over here, right? For example, if it is page and then the page name, it's going to pull that. If it's page dash the ID of the page, it's going to pull that. So basically you can create these pages into the root of your theme, and then if you want a particular page to have a different layout and structure, you can create like page dash whatever the page name is .php, and WordPress will automatically load that for you when it finds the page name matching, and it's going to be rendering that using that template of yours. Okay, so there's so many things that you can do over here. Let's say that is archive. So let's take an example of this one right here. So with is archive, you can see that it comes over here and it checks archive-post.php, post type.php. So again, if there's a specific post type that you have registered, and if you want that to use a specific template, just create a page called archive-post type. Let's say your post type name is book, so archive-book.php, and automatically for the archive page it's going to use that template. If you're wondering what archives are basically used to display the data which can be classified, for example with categories and tags, etc. So brilliant. So we'll come back to the archive pages and what are these later on, but I hope you get the idea that there are two different ways to find out what is the name of the file you need to create if you want to load a custom template. So either you go to the template hierarchy that we just discussed, which is this, and then say what you want to create basically. For example, the author, it'll be author.php, category.php, or taxonomy, etc. However, and look at this. This is the one, archive-post-type.php, right? So you can check this information here, or you can also go to the WordPress core and see what actually it's loading. So what is the name of the file you need to create? If it doesn't find, then it's just going to load the archive.php. Okay, great. So hope that makes sense to you, and it is very clear to you that how WordPress is actually loading all of that stuff. I do have a specific video where I have explained about WordPress initialization, how WordPress is initialized step by step, from starting from your main file, your index.php. Okay, like from this one. So you can see that blog header was called, and this is where we were, right? So when WordPress is initialized, basically this file is called, which is your index.php, because that's the root of your project. So, and then this file is called, and then it checks the loader, etc. And over here it loads the library, etc. So I have explained all of that into that video. If you want to take a look, I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, awesome. So since now we know what is template hierarchy, and now it puts us in a better position to create blog page and a custom home page, etc., which we will be doing in the next video. Okay, awesome. So I hope you did like the video. If you did, please give a thumbs up, and do subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Please follow me on GitHub. My GitHub handle is imranhsayed, and do star my repository to support my work, and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Codeytek. Awesome. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment box. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.